Hello, this is Drew. I want to welcome you back to my channel. The fragrance we're going to talk about today is another clone that's called Glacier Bold. It's by Maison Alhambra. Like we always do, we're going to do a deep dive and or first impression into the fragrance right after we run the intro. Welcome back. I want to thank you for dropping by my channel and hope to see you back again in future episodes to come. If you find any value in the information offered, please consider subscribing to the channel and also hit that like button so that the algorithm will help push the video out and so that you don't miss any future episodes. Let's go with this Glacier Bold, see what's working. Like the first thing I need to let you all know, it is a clone of Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau. That's what this is. And I'll show you both bottles when we get through looking everything up. But the main accords are coconut, vanilla, sweet citrus, aromatic, amber, latonic, fresh spicy, tropical, and nutty. Now, I see this particular fragrance. They say you can get it on Joma Shop for 20 bucks. I fought last year tooth and nail trying to find it. I couldn't find it for months. When it finally showed up, the cheapest you could get this thing was like 40 bucks. And be honest, well, I don't want to jump the gun. We'll get into it when we get there. And it's a unisex fragrance, and it was launched in 2023. Let's see if they got anything else to say about it. Basically, the notes are pretty slim. It's got coconut, tonka, and bergamot. That's all I'm seeing on this. Let's go ahead on and get them sprayed up and see what's what. Okay, here's the Glacier Bold bottle right here. Like I said, it's an actual clone of this particular one. This is Jean Paul Gaultier's Le Beau, Le Parfum. That's what this is, and this is the clone of it. And we're gonna go over exactly what this bottle's got going on, and we're gonna compare the two and see how close that we feel they are. Like I said, glass bottle with a plastic cap. It just sits on, it's not gripping at all. Just a cheap cap. Bottle's pretty heavy duty though. So let's go ahead and get it sprayed, see what we got going on here. Check out the atomizer. It's a good one. I don't think it's pressurized, but it's got a pretty good flow coming out of it, so that's all we need. Now, like I said, it didn't say it but 3 notes, but I can tell you right now, I can smell it already. This bergamot, coconut, tonka. I don't really get a lot of tonka, but I'm getting a lot of coconut. This right here is nothing but, this is like a beachy type fragrance right here. The citrus, like I said, smells to me like orange. No, I'm sorry. It smells like more like lemony type of coconutty type of fragrance. That's what it smells like. A fresh coconut that just been cracked open and you split it, whatnot, and you know, you mixing it in with this bergamot. But there's something else going on in the back here, some type of ambroxan or something to make it so it's not a food fragrance at all. It kind of gives you by the note breakdown like it may be some type of fragrance with food as far as that, but that's not it. This is a tropical beach type fragrance. Kind of reminds you of, you know, sitting on the beach. You know, it's probably good 70, 72 degrees. You got a nice cool breeze coming. You got your lawn chair laid out with your cover over top of it, you know, with your headphones on, sipping on something cold or whatnot, looking off at the ocean. That's the vibe that this particular one gives you. I can tell you that right off the bat. It's very well blended in my opinion. But what we're gonna do next, we're gonna go ahead and compare it to the original. Let me lay this one down and tell you what, we're gonna go ahead and mark it so we don't get them mixed up. So I'm gonna tell you now, Well, we'll wait. We'll get there. Okay. Like I said, this is Le Beau. This is the original one that is actually a clone of. Got the little metal cap to keep you from accidentally spraying it or whatnot. We'll probably go over this one later on when this weather finished breaking or whatnot. This early 2025. And like I said, when the sun break out and whatnot, we'll go over this one again. This one feels like a pressurized atomizer. This one, right, 1 or 2 hits and the whole thing just come out. Let's let it dry down a little bit, and we'll compare the two and see what's what. See what my opinion is as far as the closeness. Okay, this particular one is the clone. Like I said, I love it already. But let's go to the original and see what's what with that. Now, I will say the original is a lot more airy. It's a lot more, it seems to be better mixed as far as blending the ingredients. The clone one, the pineapple and citrus smell separate. Smells good to me, I love it. But it doesn't seem to be blended quite as well as the original. The clone seem to have a little bit of more sharpness. Probably like it's a little bit heavier when you put it on your skin. It's probably gonna be a situation where it's gonna wear a little heavy. It'll probably last a little longer, in all honesty. But the ingredients, you can pretty much point them out, with a few sniffs on what's going on. As opposed to this Le Beau, it's just smooth. It's just blended, just almost like water. It's like the way the fragrances are, you can tell they're there, but they're blended so well, they just all kind of work in harmony. This one is good too, but the sourness has a tartness it's almost like an extra zing on the top that personally I don't have a problem with, especially in the summertime. Once it starts sweating and whatnot, it's fine by me. But in the background, the clone, it's a little bit sweeter. It's more of a, I don't want to say sickness sweet, but a super rich syrupy type of sweet. It's not overbearing, but you can definitely pick it up in the back. As opposed to the original, I'm not getting that overwhelming syrupy type sweetness. This is like a well mixed. It's like all the fragrances are working harmoniously, which makes it a little bit hard to pick out each fragrance, so to speak. So very well blended fragrance. You could tell the ingredients in here probably are of higher quality, which I would assume, talking $100 and some fragrance, as opposed to, I saw it on Jungle Shot said 20. I don't think you're gonna get it for that. It's gonna probably be between $30 and $45 for the clone, which is still a third of what you're gonna pay for the original. The original is just a lot smoother as far as this delivery. It's just, you can tell this is more high. If you smell the two together, you can tell this is more high end. And I'm gonna tell you, I would tell you if it was, the same thing or whatnot, I would tell you. Now the scent profile, I think it's probably 90%, I'm gonna be honest, but it's the way that the fragrance is blended. The original just smells a lot smoother, like a lot more time, a lot more care was taken into mixing the ingredients, like it made mix them a lot longer. It's almost like, think about it like mixing a thing of Kool-Aid, as opposed to you throw the sugar in, give it 4 or 5 swipes and go ahead and serve it. If you look through it, you can still see some of this sugar, it might be clear, but you can kind of see it in the bowl or whatnot, because it's not mixed in all the way, even though it's still good. You throw some ice on it, on a hot day, you drink it. But this particular one seems like it was just mixed and checked and mixed, and it was rechecked again and mixed. And then once they figure they got the best out of each ingredient, then made them work together, like they made it add a little bit, take a little bit from there to make this a more smoother fragrance. Then they package it up and sold it. That's what I'm getting from the original as opposed to the clone. And the clone, like I said, it's a good fragrance, but it's like I said, I think I said 85%. No, 90. This is 90. Only thing is, like I said, that little off-putting is that that cloying sweetness in the back of the clone that the original doesn't have. But I will say this, you put these particular fragrances on in the heat or whatnot, and I'm gonna tell you, I don't think anybody would be able to really tell the difference anyway. They would have to have a very discriminate nose to be able to pick up the difference on skin. I'm gonna tell you, by the time you start to sweat, that's gonna take the fragrance that's in the clone and kind of mesh it together for you anyway, and it'll start basically emanating off of your skin to give you that sillage. You're gonna get about the same thing. Now, I will say this, the original one, for my skin, this is a 3-hour fragrance, 3 or 4 max, and it's a skin scent. Once you sweat a couple of times, dry down, get in the air conditioning car, get out, sweat a couple of times, whatnot, you gotta have to read this one up, the original. This particular clone, I've worn it maybe 2 or 3 times. And this one is stronger. This is probably closer to a 5-hour scent, the clone is, the one that costs less money. It's gonna last long on your skin, I can tell you that now. Because it has a thick, sweet, syrupy something going on in the background that's gonna hang around your skin. And that's not a bad thing, that's not what I'm saying. But smelling these, if you didn't smell these side by side, you'd be fine with the clone. Even with me, I'm telling you, either one is fine by me. I'm gonna wear them both. But there is a quality difference in the original. But for somebody starting out and just say you go into Macy's or whatnot and you decide you fool around and you smell this particular one and whatnot, the original, and you decide, hey, this is a profile that I like, I would tell you, hold your money and go ahead and get this Glacier Bold. Because you can dump this, you can put 10, 15, 20 sprays on it. After about 20 minutes, it's gonna die down. It's not gonna be no more than maybe a foot, 2 foot max. I would say a foot sillage after about an hour. It's gonna come right on back around you. It's not gonna project. It's not one of those ones that's gonna leave a whole lot of scent trail. At least in my particular case, that's not what it was. I had to re-up by every 3 hours with the original to keep the scent going. Maybe I went nose blind, I'm not for sure. As opposed to this one was about 5 hours, maybe a little bit longer, depending on, what your situation is. I sweat a lot. So my skin seems to burn up a lot of cologne quicker maybe than the average person. So I think that's kind of good. So if you don't sweat a lot, on the original, you may get 5, 6, 7 hours. You may get that. I don't get that from this, but I do get that from the clone. I've got a minimum of 5 hours, and then it's pretty much close to me within probably 6 inches of foot max. And it's something that you just want to just re-up on it. It's cheap enough that you can keep your decant and put it on as much as you like. This is mass appealing. This particular one is a summer, spring, fall type scent. I would say spring, summer, but this right here exudes the beach. It's just carefree, coconutty, fresh. It just makes you feel tropical. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And with that, I'm gonna wrap this thing up, and I'll see you at the next one.